Alt Funds Global presents Your Bank Made a Mistake. Your money is now stuck. 3 tips that will help you out.
So your bank did a mistake, and because of their mistake, your capital got stuck, your money got stuck. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to get your money out or leverage your money to your financial benefit. You've got to be watching this video.
All of the information presented is for entertainment and information purposes only. Nothing discussed constitutes legal or accounting advice, an offer or solicitation of financial services, or financial advice of any kind. Our goal is to showcase alternative vehicles to raise capital. At no point will we be soliciting any investment programs.
Hi, Taimour Zaman from Alt Funds Global. My organization acts as a concierge service for credit investors that are frustrated by banks and are looking for something called alternative funding solutions. The capital our clients are getting allows them to do project financing, grow their business, as well as buy auxiliary businesses. So friends, before I talk about how to take money out when your bank does a mistake, I'm going to give you some of my own experiences in this area. First of all, I must say, years ago, one of my close family members had a 5+ digit amount of capital in a bank in Lebanon. And if you've been following Lebanon, the currency in Lebanon for the past 10-15 years, you'll notice that they've had lots of currency issues. And this particular family member of mine had a lot of money in a bank that got frozen, and she was never able to see that money ever. That was my first experience of, oops, banks do a mistake and your capital gets frozen. Well, what are you going to do? My next engagement, something that was a little bit more financially fruitful for me, was a financial institution in South America that lost its bank license. And I was asked to help in something called mirroring of the funds. Since then, I've done at least 1 or 2 videos about how to mirror funds correctly. I have, I think about 2 years ago, we had a snapshot of credit go from bank A to bank B. And while the snapshot of credit was en route to the corresponding bank lost its bank license the day before they received my snapshot of credit. I should say me and my client's snapshot of credit. Oopsie. One of the top 20 banks in the world whose name you would recognize, and I'm not going to mention the name, they have a lot of off-ledger funds. The executive said, hey, before we retire, we better take some of these off-ledger funds and put it into on-ledger funds. Every single bank, every single legitimate bank that I'm aware of said we will never take Sam Matters credit from this particular bank. And this bank is one of the top 20 banks in the world. And if you ever have capital with that bank or gave money to that bank, and that bank issued, or a cutting house that uses that bank to issue letters of credit, well, oopsie, you now have a problem. But in all the cases that I shared with you, you as a customer never did something bad or wrong. It was just what the financial institution did that caused this upset, trouble, however you want to label it for you. So as my domains of experience, and the longer I stay in this industry, the more of this stuff I get to see, and I certainly don't enjoy it. I certainly don't appreciate when my clients have to go through something like that. I know it's emotionally challenging for sure. So I'm going to give you 3 tips, 3 techniques that has worked if you are ever in that scenario. First of all, within Alt Funds Global, we offer something called advisory services. This means you retain us as consultants to assist you when you're stuck in something like that. So you better have our phone number handy. You never know when this happens. Technique 1 that I've seen it work is, so imagine you've got funds with a bank and the bank did something bad or naughty. Now what are you going to do? It's hard to get your money out. Technique number 1 that I've seen it work, and I've seen this work a couple of times, is to work with a blockchain company that is in the cryptocurrency business. And a blockchain company should be able to take your funds from whichever bank that you have funds with, turn it into crypto, provide an account for you in a different jurisdiction altogether, and then pay you in crypto. So I use US as an example because I'm going to use US as an example. You have funds with a bank in the US. The bank in the US did something bad or wrong. They wired gun money that they should not have wired gun money to somebody, or drug money, or whatever they did. And now the bank is being taken. When you want to wire money out from that bank to any other bank, every other bank is very nervous about accepting funds. Not because of something you did. It was just something the bank did. So in that case, what I highly recommend is put your funds, work with a blockchain company. Allfunds Global is not. Allfunds Global is not a blockchain company. Work with a blockchain company that can take your capital, turn it into cryptocurrency, and then open up an account for you in Singapore, Dubai, or somewhere that you feel comfortable, and then pay you out your funds in crypto. You can very easily convert back to fiat and bring it back to the US if it was a US case. If this is a European case, like this works. Second model, your bank did something bad wrong. You should have done something bad wrong, and now you're stuck. What are you going to do? Just so I'm not picking on Americans, I use Europeans. So your bank in Europe did something bad wrong. It shouldn't have done something bad wrong. And now it's on this impacting you. What I would do is don't wire the funds to other banks in Europe, the EU, even in North America. All these banks are connected. The minute that your bank does something that's tainted, it makes it extremely hard to wire money out. So what I would do is open up an account in a different jurisdiction, like Singapore, as an example, or in Asia or Australia, like places like that, and then wire the money from the European bank to a different jurisdiction bank, where that other jurisdiction bank more likely has not heard about, is not in the same network of the European bank. So that technique has worked multiple times that I have seen, and I've seen this work all around the world, like really around the world. Third technique that has worked, believe it or not, is something called proof of fund services. There's a whole industry called proof of funds. A lot of people who are trying to do something called arbitrage, if you're familiar with arbitrage, are constantly looking for something called proof of fund services. So imagine you have $100 million, and some guy needs to buy a real estate or a car dealership or whatever that guy wants to buy, and the seller will say, show me you have the money, otherwise don't waste my time. The guy who's trying to do a transaction will come to you and say, look, I'm going to pay you money for something called proof of funds services. So what you then do is you talk to your bank, you open up a sub-account in the name of your so-called new client. And that sub-account has one signatory, and that signatory is you. That signatory is you. Why? Because you don't want this person that you've never met, or is your new client, to go and take your money out, right? So your bank should be able to open up an account in his name, or you can set, there's multiple ways of doing this. You can set up a corporation with the guy's name, and then you have a JV with the corporation, but end of the day, that bank account has one signatory, and that signatory is you. So in the proof of funds service, you have $100 million in a bank that you cannot take out because of something bad wrong in your bank did. On the proof of funds service, if somebody needs, let's say 10 million, 50 million, some amount, 100 million, they'll call you, they're willing to pay you cash for you to provide something called proof of funds services. And then when they want to pay you the cash, respectfully, don't send it to the bank account that's done something bad or wrong. Open up a different bank account. There are thousands, millions of banks around the world. By the way, if you ever want to come to Allfunds Global events, we've had one in Panama, Switzerland, like we do events around the world. It's a great way to meet some of the bankers we work with around the world. So you get a chance to see somebody eye to eye, investigate them, do your due diligence, and if you feel comfortable, you open up an account with the bank, not Taimour Zaman. Although Taimour Zaman loves your cash. Everything I do is unfortunately or fortunately with banks, so it's like opening a camera down. And then you just pray and hope that guy doesn't think something bad or wrong. That's my 2 cents. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, if you ever get stuck, book a call with All Funds Global. Good idea. The service you're looking for what I just shared with you is something called advisory services. And remember, our clients are accredited investors. That means people coming to the call with cash and they're ready to go. That's the one and only market we serve. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to your service here. Thank you.
My favorite part of the day was the big brainstorm we had, all the team together, to see what would be the best step to challenge the funding principles to reach to our objectives. So the way we did that is that we challenge everyone's objective as well. That helped me open my mind to other alternative way to do the fundings.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. But if you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of All Funds Global. You simply go to our website, allfundsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within All Funds Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income, but if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with the central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiple. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever your bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within All Funds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. All Funds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content complete for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question I get is, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. You know, we never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even losses against them. The reason within All Funds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Taimour, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them as just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, It's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us frauster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator. We use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence. Listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world. And I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks out it. We don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in, that you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is, if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get a bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour Zaman from Funds Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.